So today we're talking about moving on from our basic pelvic floor exercises, which you can see more of in our other videos. I'm Clio Wood, author of Get Your Mojo Back, Sex, Pleasure and Intimacy After Birth. And this is Amanda Savage, expert pelvic health physio. And so give me the lowdown, Amanda. What do you do once you've mastered and got confident at your basic classical pelvic floor exercises? How do we kind of begin to build on that and incorporate it into real life?
Yeah, so once you've done your basics and you feel that your strength and your tone and your ability to hold your muscles and breathe at the same time is coming on, you also want to start thinking, but in real life, I need to be able to use my pelvic floor and my core muscles in all the activities I'm doing. And this is where physiotherapists encourage people towards those mind-body connecting exercise disciplines like yoga and Pilates, and to some extent the CrossFit and free weights, where you're making sure that this is a package that you use all the time in everything that you do. And that is the principle of yoga and Pilates, is that you prepare the center and then you add movements over the top. But also free weights, they teach you to brace, but that's not a bearing down, that's a drawing in action and good breathing technique as you add your strengthening tasks for your arms and your legs.
And those are all really functional activities, aren't they, that then will come into play as you lift things in real life, as you run around after your kids and so on. And obviously has a real impact on, you know, how you feel in your body, your confidence, your body image, and how you feel, you know, going into sex and intimacy again as well. So it's really important to kind of factor these things into your rehab journey.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit more as well, because some people might not feel like the classical pelvic floor exercises are enough. They might not be sure whether they're doing them correctly. And obviously we can go and visit a women's health physiotherapist or physical therapist in the States, as I always recommend that people do. But there are also lots of kind of gadgets that we can use as well, which I was a little bit skeptical about at first, because obviously these are things that we can do ourselves. But actually Amanda has a real, and can give us an overview of actually how helpful they can be.
So one of the biggest problems is that people say, but I don't know if I'm doing it right. And that is so hard because you can't see it. It's difficult to feel it. It's difficult to measure it. So there are some nice gadgets and devices that will give you a sense of whether you're doing things right and help to enhance your exercising at home. So the one that people have most commonly heard of is some form of vaginal weight. So just as you would add weights to your arm exercises or in your yoga or Pilates class to make things a bit more challenging, there are weights that can be put inside the vagina where the muscles are, and you practice holding the weight in for a prolonged period of time. So you're not so much doing your squeezes as just not letting it fall out. They're great because they don't require electricity. So they're quite good to do when you're washing your hair in the shower, or one of my ladies puts it in, goes and empties the dishwasher, and then takes it out, job done. You can move about, you can practice running on the spot, coughing, and you're trying to not let the weight fall out. So, and they come lots of different styles and brands. Then the other thing you can do is have a device inside that when you squeeze your muscles, you get some kind of response on another device to tell you whether you are what you're doing. And it can be a visual cue, something going up and down on the screen, or it might be a sound. They use various different types, use different technologies. Quite a few now work with your phone. So commonly you'll have a small pebble device that goes inside. This is a particularly petite one. This is a slightly larger one. Again, there must be about 6 different ones available now. And when you squeeze your muscles doing your exercises, you'll see a response on your phone. And they give you games to play, some more animated than others. And you try to knock a gem or move an octopus or hit a line on a graph. And it gives you something to see, but it also tells you how well you did it. And I think for people who are struggling with sensation, those are a great tool. You don't have to have one, but you might enjoy working with one, especially if you're a gadgety kind of person.
Yeah. And I've always said as well, it's, one of the other things that we've talked about in our other conversations is how hard it can be to visualize actually what's happening with the pelvic floor, because we can't see it from the outside. So gadgets like this can be really helpful in that sense to help you, with that sort of mind-body connection as well.
Yeah. And if you were worried that your muscles weren't working at all, or you saw a physiotherapist and they said, no, despite what you think's going on in your head, there's not a lot going on underneath. Some people need to use something called electrical stimulation, which is where we use a small machine to send an electrical current to your muscles.
Mm-hmm.
These devices go inside, will have some kind of electrode on them, so that you can run an electrical current to your muscles to make your muscles artificially exercise and twitch for you, until you can learn that skill yourself by working with the device. Amazing. And these, usually you need to have worked out that your muscles aren't very good for that to be the best solution for you. And again, probably best done in conjunction with a therapist who's experienced and can guide you what would suit you best.
Yeah, that's really important, I think, isn't it?
I think so, especially when we're talking about trauma after birth.
Yeah.
There might be a lot of issues you want to work on, and you need someone to help you pull it all together and work out what would be a plan for you. Definitely get started yourself. Lots we can do DIY at home.
Yeah.
Lots of what I call low-hanging fruit, easy things to do. But if it's all getting a bit of a muddle and you're not getting the results you wanted, definitely get some people on your team to help you.
Great. Thanks very much.